Okay, remember when they put me in handcuffs for nothing? No corpus delicti, no victim, no crime. So I requested their bonds and their oaths of office. Today I got my response. Now she says that the individual officers aren't bonded, so she sent me the sheriff's bond. And the deputies and the officers fall under the sheriff because they're deputized by the sheriff. And the sheriff takes responsibility for them. She wasn't able to send me the judge or the clerk's info because I have to get that from the precinct, so I'm still waiting on that. Here's Johnson County Sheriff's bond. This is public information and anyone could go request this. And lo and behold, it gives me all the information I need to go make my claim. This is the officer that put me in cuffs and forced me to contract under duress. This is his oath of office. Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God. And this is the sheriff deputizing him and taking responsibility for him. I am going to have to amend the amount on my invoice. Made it just a little bit too expensive. Technically, they do owe me that $40,000, but I will settle for the 30. Now you have to remember, I'm not doing this and following through with this process to hurt the cops. They're uneducated and they've been wrongly trained, and I'm aware of that. The problem is, I did my duty of putting them on notice and educating them that night, and they still chose to violate my rights. And if I don't stand up for my rights, if I don't protect and preserve my rights, our future children and our future grandchildren don't have their rights.
Boom, bam.
Which is why it's so important for all of us, not only me, but all of us, to go out there and be the change you want to see.
Boom, bam.
State, national.
I've got a message for that twice convicted racist Katie Hobbs, who is currently a squatter in the governor's office. Don't get too comfortable, sweetie. We pay for these elections. We pay for Richard and Gates' salary. And they despise voters who question the honesty of our elections. They despise voters who wanted a forensic audit. And they took that hatred out on us on Election Day 2022. People cannot take this level of fraud much longer. Our republic can't handle it, guys. It's not about me. It really isn't. It's never been about me. I jumped into this because I guess I'm crazy enough to let some of you talk me into getting into politics. Thank you very much. It is about us, and it is about our children. They stole this election, and they counted on us giving up. They counted on us walking away. They counted on us saying this fight is just too hard, or this fight is too expensive, or this fight is too stressful, or this fight is too unbearable. And I know, hey listen, I know we've all had those thoughts. I can't be the only one who've had those thoughts, right? It has been tough. But you know what's even harder, more stressful, more expensive, more unbearable? Giving up this country and losing this country.
Damn right.
We're not gonna let that happen.
You got a lot of nerves, Katie Hobbs. You got a lot of nerves trying to throw Doug Ducey under the bus. How much money got misappropriated and stolen through the Arizona lottery while you was on the books, while you was on the bench, while you was in office? How much, huh? How much? How you gonna put Patricia Norris and how you gonna put Michael Gordon in there to continue what Alison Bachus was doing? How? Your name is on some of their oaths of office, and I'm going to be showing that here shortly. But you continue what Doug Ducey from Ohio was doing. You continue. You ain't no different. That's why they stole it from Kari Lake and put you in there. You didn't run. You didn't feel like you had to do nothing. You was entitled, and you sat back knowing that you was going to get that seat. Because it was promised to you. You didn't get out and campaign like Kari Lake did. You didn't do no work. You sat your ass in there knowing you was going to get it. Okay? You sat your ass in there knowing you was gonna get it, and they need to pull your ass up out of there, and they need to install Kari Lake in there. Now, that's what they need to do. How dare you be aware of this situation that's going on? You know what this situation is. You ain't reached out to me. You ain't did nothing for me. And you supposed to be the governor. You're not governing really too well. Okay, all this faking need to stop. You ain't no better than Maureen O'Connor, who was the Chief Justice of Ohio Supreme Court. You ain't no better. Y'all a bunch of actors, y'all a bunch of pretenders, and y'all a bunch of fakers. You know that all this activity is still going on. So since you put Patricia Norris and since you put Michael Gordon in there to continue to do what Alison Bachus did and uphold her orders, did you put Thomas Alec Esteban in the Arizona lottery to continue? What changed in there? Okay, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that to make sure that activity is not going, because you changing faces and activity is still going on. How dare you leave me to fight against these people when you're supposed to be the governor? Your work is ineffective. Your work is ineffective. Your work is ineffective. And as far as I'm concerned, they need to pull your motherfucking ass up out of there, and they need to put Kari Lake in there so we can understand that the Constitution means something, because obviously the Constitution of the state of Arizona and the United States Constitution don't mean a goddamn thing to you. How you gonna put her in there? How you gonna put them in there? How you gonna sit back knowing they doing this? You sitting back knowing they doing this and you ain't doing nothing. And if you want to know my opinion is that you take orders. You don't got no real power. You're told what to do. You was promised the seat, and you get up and you get on TV and get in these newspapers and you act. You ain't doing no real movement. You ain't got no real power. So how dare you try to talk down on Doug Ducey, and you doing the same thing. Y'all two peas in a pod. That's why they got you in this picture right next to each other, because y'all the same damn species of thing. Okay? Fraud. All this fraud that happened to me and all this fraud that they got going on in this Arizona Superior Court, and you acquiesce to it. How dare you? And you gonna sit up there and talk about what he misappropriated. Let's talk about what you misappropriated. Let's talk about all these sober living homes up in this state that's finding these dead Native Americans in there, okay? And smoking blues and shit. While you sitting up in office thinking you doing something, you ain't doing nothing. Y'all work is ineffective. Y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of actors. This shit need to be cleaned up. This shit need to be cleaned up. You have an oath to the Constitution too, and you ain't upholding it because you don't feel like you have to, because you feel like the crooks that guaranteed you the seat is the same crooks that's stealing the lottery money. It's the same people. We ain't fucking stupid. We ain't stupid. You need to come out of there. You didn't do nothing. You put the same people in to continue this shit. Michael Gordon released these orders. How dare you? And you get up there and you got a nerve to be talking about some Doug Ducey in this video. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt if both of y'all is operating for the Ku Klux Klan. That's who you operate. That's who I think you operating for, and that's my opinion. Wolves in sheep's fucking clothing. That's what you is. That's exactly what you are. You didn't do nothing. You was ineffective. Kari Lake need that seat, and she need it immediately. Now, it need to be unprecedented. They need to rip your ass out of there, and they need to put her in there. That's what they need to do, because she got out and did all the hard work while you sat on your fucking ass like an entitled brat. And you just knew you had that seat. You knew you had it in the gun, so you ain't feel like you had to go out and do shit. Okay, and this ain't the only state that's going on in. Now, talking about what he misappropriated, as much as dirt you got going on your watch. Same people that control you is the same people that control Douglas Leroy Reyes, and it's the same people that control John Tucci's bald-headed ass. They need to clean all y'all out of there. Y'all are all domestic enemies of the Constitution. okay? And the Department of Justice need to clean y'all motherfucking asses up out of there, you wolf in sheep clothing asses. Now, that's why everybody in the state feels so gridlocked. That's why everybody feels so gridlocked. And you got all these people sleeping on these bridges and shit. You got all these people sleeping on these bridges and smoking these blues and fucked up out here because y'all got this oppressive ass system that you upholding and you protecting. You need to come out of there. Now, you need to come out of there. And they need to lock Michael Gordon's ass up too, all y'all. All y'all, you need to be fired. That's what need to happen. Talking about with Doug Ducey misappropriated, much shit going on under your watch. You gonna put these dirty ass judges back in that court. That court don't have no integrity. They fucked over Kari Lake in that court, and you sat back knowing, oh, she can go to court all she want to, like you did me. Oh, you can go to court all you want to, you ain't gonna get nothing. That's what you thought. You gonna watch me get it all. That's what you gonna watch. And you gonna watch Kari Lake get installed in that seat because your ass is fired. Now, okay, people, we're going to get right into it. This is Arizona Revised Statute 38-231, officers and employees required to take loyalty oath. Okay, now this is the loyalty oath that they're required to take. The loyalty oath is the oath to the United States Constitution, primary over everything, okay? Let me say that again, primary over everything, and this is to keep all the people compliant so that they're not taking orders from third-party groups or third-party cabals that's going against the public's interest. People of the public consist of regular people, okay? So when you invoke this Constitution and they don't stand with it, they're a domestic enemy, and it is your job to defend that Constitution in any way that you can. It's your job. It's your job. They say, oh, you can't practice law, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, or No. If you're defending the Constitution, you can do whatever you need to do to defend that Constitution against enemies, foreign or domestic, okay? And that's one of the requirements for people who come over here from other countries. You know, they have to agree that they'll take up arms against anybody that's trying to stand against this Constitution, okay? So if they have a right to take up arms against anybody that's standing against the Constitution, you most certainly is allowed to go in a court of law and stand up against anybody that's being taken advantage of and their constitutional rights is being taken advantage of, and they have to stand with it. For example, if you have somebody that can't defend themselves, can't afford a lawyer, and they being done any kind of way, and you know that it's wrong, it's your job to step in and defend that Constitution. If they invoke that Constitution, you allowed to step in and help them. And if anybody that would interfere, they automatically got an oath to the Constitution. They automatically got an oath of office. And if they try to press charges on you, or they try to charge you with one of them state laws and say, well, you can't be doing this or you can't be doing that, they a domestic enemy, and they lose their fucking job, and they fucking have to pay something out of their bond. They get a strike on their bond. They get a claim against their surety bond. Okay, that's how you hold these motherfuckers liable. Let's get into this shit. All right. Okay, Part A. In order to ensure the statewide application of this section on a uniform basis, each board, commission, agency, and independent office of this state and any of its political subdivisions and of any county, city, town, municipal corporation, school district, and public educational institution shall completely reproduce this section so that the form of written oath or affirmation required in this section contains all of the provisions of this section for use by all officers and employees of all boards, commissions, agencies, and independent offices. B. Any officer or employee who fails to take and subscribe to the oath or affirmation provided by this section within the time limits prescribed by this section is not entitled to any compensation until the officer or employee does so take and subscribe to the form of oath or affirmation prescribed by this section. C. Any officer or employee having taken the form of oath or affirmation prescribed by this section and knowingly at the time of subscribing to the oath or affirmation or at any time thereafter during the officer's or employee's term of office or employment does commit or aid in the commission of any act to overthrow by force, violence, or terrorism as defined in Section 13-2301, the government of this state or of any of its political subdivisions, or advocates to overthrow by force, violence, or terrorism as defined in Section 13-2301 of the government of this state or of any of its political subdivisions is guilty of a Class 4 felony, and on conviction under this section, the officer or employee is deemed discharged from the office or employment and is not entitled to any additional compensation or any other emoluments or benefits which may have been incident or opportune to the office or employment. D. Any of the persons referred to in Article XV 111, Section 10, Constitution of Arizona as amended relating to the employment of aliens are exempted from any compliance with the section. E. In addition to any other form of oath or affirmation specifically provided by law for an officer or employee, before any officer or employee enters upon the duties of office or employment, the officer or employee shall take and subscribe the following oath or affirmation. State of Arizona, County of Maricopa, I, Mark McCormick, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the State of Arizona, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duty of the office of Governor according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Signature of the officer goes there. F. For the purpose of this section, officer or employee means any person elected, appointed, or employed either on a part-time or full-time basis by this state or any of its political subdivisions or any county, city, town, municipal, corporation, school district, public educational institution, or any board, commission, or agency of any county, city, town, municipal corporation, school district, or public education institution. Now let me break that down. That means everybody that's associated with the public has this loyalty oath, okay? They has this loyalty oath. So when they start doing abuse and they start allowing abuse and they want to look the other way, then guess what? They in violation. They in violation, okay? This comes first. This comes first, okay? This comes first, and that is why they have to have this oath of office, and they have to have a bond. They have to have a surety bond so that when they break this oath, you can go get you some money. Okay? That's what it's there for. That's what it's there for. That's what it's there for, okay? And the founders of the Constitution was very smart because they came up with this and they made everybody, including the President of the United States, the Vice President, all of them have to do this same thing right here. So when they start doing what they think they want to do, what they want to do, they get taken out of there. They get pulled the fuck up out of there when they feel like they want to take orders from cabals. You know what I'm saying? You want to have allegiance to a cabal and you want to allow people to succumb to abuse and shit. That's domestic terrorism. Judicial terrorism is the same thing as domestic terrorism. And you have a duty to protect people from that. And that's what I was talking about with Katie Hobbs, okay? So people, y'all need to know that everybody have this. Police have this. Sheriffs have this. Governors, mayors, attorneys, okay? So when those attorneys is using those starving out tactics and they want to kind of starve you out to force settlements, guess what? You could take their fucking jobs. You could take their jobs. Everybody that was involved with it, you could take their jobs. And all the ones who didn't stand in to stop it, you could take their fucking jobs. You can get a claim on their surety bond, and you could take their motherfucking jobs. And they'll cut this activity out. They'll cut it out. They'll cut it out. And she didn't. She didn't stop the activity. Katie Hobbs didn't stop the activity. She knew what Alison Bachus did. And this is the reason why I told them that they need to get Theodore Campagnolo out of there and just take his job and take his retirement. And under this section, you can take their fucking retirement because they don't get nothing that was associated with the money they made while they was in office for violating that. And we'll see a big change in this country. This is all we need. We don't need no more laws. We don't need no more. Like I said, you could pass laws until you blue in the face, but if they are not regularly utilize, then it's like a computer screen. When you don't move the mouse, it go idle, and you can't see it. So this is the reason why they require everybody to have these. So the regular use of these, but these people get in office and they get comfortable and they feel like they gonna ignore this. Like, oh, the Constitution is just a piece of paper and it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. But then when you get ready to start citing things like personal jurisdiction, you want to say, oh, it has to be the 14th Amendment of due process. You want to start citing it then when it's convenient for you, but you don't want to uphold this in its totality. So guess the fuck what? You get your job taken and you get claims against your bond. You get liens against your bond, or you can't work for no public office no more. You go work your ass at KFC. Now, hello people. This is the loyalty oath of office for Judge Alison Sue Bachus, okay? And this was signed December 15th, 2022. Actually, no, let me take that back. She signed this December 7th, 2022. So she signed this during the time that she was on my case and I invoked the Constitution. And she did not recognize it. So she's in violation of this. You see this here? You see this? And look whose name is on the bottom. You see that? You see that? That's why Sister Girl got to go. Sister Girl got to go. You got to go, Katie Hobbs. You got to go. You got to go just like she had to go. Because y'all not taking this serious. This is a contract to my rights, and you allowed it to be destroyed. Okay? You sat back and allowed this, and then y'all have a nerve to try to put her as a magistrate in the Arizona District Court. She coming out of there. She ain't gonna be in there long, if she is in there, if that's true, if y'all not just lying saying that. But if she in there, she coming out because bitch is going to jail. Okay, y'all, you just heard the laws that I read. She going to jail because she violated other laws, the RICO law and all Title 18 and all that. Look at this. She didn't recognize this. She wasn't for real. Look, Allison, I know you gonna watch this video. You see your signature right there? You just scrabble. Okay? Look at you. Did I sign that? Did I sign that? Huh? Loyalty. Do you know what loyalty mean, bitch? Loyalty means that this come first, ho. Let's look at it. Let's look at this. The Constitution comes first and then the state laws. Then the Constitution come first, then the Arizona State Constitution, and then the laws in that order. Look at the order. I, Alison Sue Bachus, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and then laws of state of Arizona. You see the order that goes in? Okay? So when I come before you and I cite what I cite, okay? And you think you're going to go right over to the third category, which is the state law, and you think that you're going to just make that stand against my invocations, then you in violation of this, honey. You in violation of this, and that's a class 4 felony. And if you in violation of any of federal laws associated with the activity associated with the violation, you in violation. So they did right by taking you out of there, and you must be jailed. You must be jailed. You have to go to jail. And because of the amount of money that was involved with the restraining orders that you denied under the federal sentencing guidelines, it's bye-bye for that ass. It's bye-bye for that ass, okay? It's bye-bye. You're not getting out. You're not getting out. That's how it goes. This is what you signed up for. This with all your signature right here, that's what that means. And you signed it on December 7th, and it was stamped on December 15th, okay? So guess what? 2022. So guess what? You did this during my case, so guess what? That means bye-bye. Next. Let's go to the next oath of office for Patricia Norris, Pat Norris. Okay, Miss Norris. Okay, so you acquiesced in the activity and you upheld her orders. So guess what? You are in violation as well. Okay, I don't need to go through this again because we just went through hers. Yours the same, and this has Adrian Fontes on it. Okay, and you signed this on You just signed this. You just signed this April 19, 2023. Oh, you definitely need to go to jail. You definitely need to go to jail. You just signed this and you turned around in the same month of April, not even 10 days later, and upheld that bullshit? Oh, yeah. They need to make an example out of you. Yeah, an example has to be made out of you. I don't give a fuck how old you are. You thought shit was sweet. You need to go to jail. You violated Title 18. You violated Title 18 USC 241, 242, 42 USC 1983, and 42 USC 1985. And you must be jailed just like Alison Bachus and Daniel Kiley and Michael Gordon. All of y'all. Okay? Let's move on to the next oath of office. Okay? Do you see Mark McCormick's signature on any of this? No, you don't. No, you don't. Did I tell your ass to sign this? No. The ink ain't even dried on this motherfucker yet. And you doing this. And Katie Hobbs is sitting back allowing it because she sent you down there to do it. So guess what? You get to retire early and go to jail and get your retirement stripped away from you under that section that I just read on this video. You don't have a retirement anymore. So you need to go home and you need to sign up for Social Security. Get your $500 a month. The next person's oath of office is Daniel J. Kiley. A lot of you guys have heard me refer to him as Kiley Daniel. He signed this on December 29th, 2022. Okay? Okay? And the ink wasn't dry on this. And I think that is Katie Hobbs. No, that ain't Katie Hobbs' signature down there. But, yeah. He already got taken out of there. Okay? So all of these people are felons. All of these people committed felonies and violated the Constitution, the United States Constitution and the state Constitution, and they must lose their retirement too. They got to take those, they have to get it taken. Just like that law state. You don't get to pick and fucking choose. Now, and we're going to be standing back to make sure you did it. All of them. Now, they need to see what it feel like. This is a loyalty oath. Do you see Mark McCormick's name written on here? No, you don't. You don't see my name on here. Did I tell you to write that? Did I tell you to do that? No, I didn't tell you to do that. But guess what? It's my job to hold you accountable. Okay, it's my job to do that. It's my job. I'm indigenous to this land. It is my job to make sure that you're following this. Okay? All right? You need to understand that. Okay.
444 on the clock, and this is a demon message for you. You were placed in the path of somebody as a test, light bearer. You were placed in the path of somebody to see what they would choose, because what they chose would help to either right or wrong generational traumas and curses. You are the curse breaker. You are the light bearer. You are the sword of truth in any given situation. Place you in a room and watch the sharks start circling. That's who you are. You are purposely placed in the way of people who claim to be honorable, in the way of people who claim to have integrity, people who claim to be providers, allies, friends. And very quickly, their true nature comes out. Very quickly, the generational wounds and traumas start to repeat themselves. Keep in mind, everybody has free will. They had a choice to make. They were free to choose whatever. Here you were placed in their path, earth angel, to see what they would choose, and they chose oppression. They chose to use you and abuse you and let you down. All the secrets have been exposed. Uh-oh. Somebody realizes now that they fumbled the bag. Somebody had a chance to stand in your light, and they chose to abuse it. They did it willingly and maliciously.
Teresa.
Thank you,
Queen.
say the demons. Thank you for showing us who you really are. Thank you for shining a light on all of your shadows for everyone to see. Thank you for using your free will to insert misery and harm on those who did not deserve it. 222, because you had a choice. And here, your foundation will start to shake. How dare you go out of your way to stand in the way of a chosen one? This shaky foundation, this feeling of nausea.
Judge Bachus.
You did this to yourself.
Judge Bachus.
You chose to stand in the way of a chosen one. That's all you, baby. Thank you, demons.
Some people have to pretend that you're a bad person so they don't feel so guilty for the things that they did to you. They have to make you the bad person so they don't feel so bad and guilty about what actually went down. Take a moment to really think about that. That person has to wake up every single day and create a false reality because they can't face the facts of what really happened and how they actually behaved. Instead of simply apologizing or just being honest with themselves or others, they have to lie. Guilt does some crazy things to us. So if someone is out there trying to smear your name, just know that that's what they have to tell themselves so they don't feel so guilty about what actually happened and what they did to you. I know you want to fight and fight back and tell your truth, but you know your truth, and that's all that matters. Feel bad for them. Don't stoop to their level. You're better than that. So know your worth, choose yourself, and choose love.
The way I feel when I look at this photo, let me tell you what I feel in my heart. I feel like everybody that's in here is working for the Ku Klux Klan. That's just what I feel. That's what I feel. I feel like these is Ku Klux Klan members. I don't care if they got brown skin, white skin. I don't care. I don't care if they got black skin. I don't care. They're Ku Klux Klan members until they prove otherwise. These people ain't being fair and impartial, and what the fuck they did to Kari Lake was wrong because they made her feel like she was getting something that they know that they wasn't gonna give her.
Our people want from no Africa, and they didn't tell that damn lie. Nowhere else.
And my dear, okay then, so we wasn't in slavery like they were saying, was it?
No.
Because Grandma was in the 1800s, but we can go almost 4 or 5 generations back. So Grandma was from our land is our land, 900 acres of land, right?
900 acres, Daniel. They call it Blue Fountain Road. They done took that sign down now.
But it's
Blue Fountain Road.
Exactly. And our grandma Hester and our grandpa Al was Albert, Grandpa Albert. And our names is our name. We didn't get no name from no white people, did we?
No, you know, names no white folks. Who told that lie?
My dear, they teaching that stuff in the history book, talking about we was slavery.
The lie, we wasn't on slavery. Our people wasn't four-parent, was not no slavery. They tell them bare-faced lies.
Y'all hear that, don't y'all? Y'all hear that? And we Choctaw, right?
That's what they said, we Choctaw.
That's right. We Choctaw. Y'all see a Choctaw, y'all. That's who we are. And our people were already here. And all of these history books have been lying. We just did the math. So I can go back before they said slavery was freed in Texas. When I did the math, it didn't add up. So I asked my grandmother, and my grandmother said, I said, my dear, so you mean, so were we slaves? Were we in the plantation?
No, we don't know about no plantation. I want to eat plum and all that mess was going on. But my foreparents know better. They wasn't on no plantation.
You see that, y'all? So dirty is right there. My dear just confirmed it. 94 years young. We were not from no darn slavery like they're saying. And we want people to stop saying them lies.
They're telling a lie.
And she said that granddaddy had their own land, and we didn't have to work like that. We didn't have to work ourselves to death from sun up to sundown. They lying.
They lying, sure is.
And then we have all our fruit trees and stuff, my dear.
Right, we have peach trees, apple trees, plum trees, grapevines, muscadine vines, scuppernine vines, all of that.
Y'all hear that, don't you?
That's in the country.
You hear that, don't you?
Paul Hunter gave Grandma the land, her land, and they built houses on it. Grandpa took over and kept the taxes paid on it.
So they had taxes way back in 1800s. So we know now that the white man invaded.
I don't know, I think they remember where.
And then you want to play and put all this stuff on a newspaper and playing, sending these mixed signals, talking about judge begins weighing two views of governor's race, fraud or a loser who won't concede. This is a winner. You looking at a winner right there. You looking at a lady who went out and got work. You looking at a lady who went out and put the work in, okay? Who went out and put the work in while Katie Hobbs sat on her ass like an entitled brat, taking orders, knowing that she was going to go from Secretary of State to the governor, and that's why she acquiesced to the actions of Alison Bachus and Patricia Norris, and now she got this Michael Gordon doing the same pattern of acts for her cabal that's running her, and that same cabal is the ones that's stealing this money from the lottery. Now, that's what the fuck. Y'all, fraud is over. They need to take Kari Lake and they need to install her in there, okay? They need to show that they stand with the Constitution and install her in there. It's too much fraud in this state, okay? It's way too much. It's way too much. It's too much fraud in America, but it's too much in this state. It's way too much. And it's so obvious that they so comfortable with it. Like it's almost like they gorilla pimping up in here. They gorilla pimping, and they don't care. They don't care who know, because they feel like, oh, we got the courts on lock, so you try to take legal action, it ain't gonna go nowhere. That need to be cleaned up. The Department of Justice, they got a job to do, and that's why I said the Department of Justice needs some more oversight on these courts. Okay? They need some more oversight on these courts, and we need a paper voting system. We need a paper voting system where when people go vote, they need to have their IDs getting scanned, and then they need to get a picture taken, and they need to sign their signature and say who they voted for. And then all of that data need to not be associated with no computer. It need to be compiled, and it need to be mailed out to everybody so they can count the votes themselves. The people need to count the votes. Not no machine, not none of that, because it's too many ways to usurp that. They need to send out a paper with everybody's picture and blur out the personal information on the ID, but the picture on the ID need to be showing with the picture that they got shown when they casted their vote, when they went and got the vote taken, so that the picture match up with the picture on the ID, and then the signature match up with the signature that's on the ID as well. And that information need to be sent out to every citizen of the state, and they need to go through there and count the votes, and then and make sure everything is matching up right. That'll cut this bullshit out. Okay, that's how we get our country back. This shit with these computers is not good, because people is rigging shit and playing with shit, and this is how you get down to business. That's why I said if I was the president of this country, they would never want me to be out of office, because everybody would just feel the liberty of life, and they would feel so comfortable, and they would feel like, whoa, why it feels so different? Oh, it feels so good. They would want to get up and go to work and do all that. But the reason why people don't want to do stuff like that, people is tired and beat down, because you got these oppressive systems that people done usurped, and hardly anybody is experiencing real life and liberty unless you're rich. And that's not fair. It's not fair. That's how we fix it. We need a handwritten voting system, and when people go to vote, they need to have it need to be photographers it need to be people with cameras, and every time you go to the booth, you get your picture taken, and it goes just like the way I said, and then all that data gets sent out. That's the least we could do, and that data need to be sent out to everybody and accessible to everybody, and it need to be put in a library. It need to be put in all state libraries that you can go back to this year and look at all the people that voted. And the only downside about that is that everybody gonna know who you voted for, okay? And then we know we put that person in office. So when we put that person in office, we can hold them accountable. So if their performance is not matching up, then they're not going to get voted back in. Okay, their performance gotta match up, and they violate that Constitution, they get tossed right the fuck up out of there real quick. That's how we do things here. That's how you get it back. All this hustling and all this stuff, people's brain is not up to par enough to figure out that this is what they got going on. That's what needs to happen. All these computer systems and shit got everything usurped with dumbass people sitting in the background. Dumbass people that got a whole bunch of money sitting up letting this fucking shit happen. And letting these courts be corrupt, and you showing these law school students that these fucking courts is fucking casino courts, pay for play. Nah. The way Katie Hobbs ignored that Constitution, the way that she allowed that, and then whoever is controlling her is controlling John Tucci and them up in the federal court. And from what I understand, I think they since Alison Bachus got removed from the state court, I think they put her as a magistrate in the Arizona District Court just so she could have a job. See, all that shit, that bitch going to jail. She going to jail. I don't care that they put her in there. She going to jail. This time is up for this bullshit. I don't care. Anybody scared to say it? I ain't fucking scared to say it. That's how we fix it and hold these people accountable to their oaths of office. You can't do what you want to do. That's why ain't nobody getting no real justice in these courts. I already knew that I already knew Kari Lake's case wasn't going to go anywhere because they let it go to the Supreme Court, and they said, oh, just let her get one claim and we'll take it back to the court. And because, they trying to fool the people and make it seem like that they was going to give her something and make it seem like, but they stole it. They stole it just like they stealing all the rest of this shit. The time is up on this bullshit. It's over with. We need unprecedented action, okay? And we need real action. They need to put some pep in their step too. They need to hurry up and do it. They need to give this woman the seat. She got out and she worked for it. She put the work in. Katie Hobbs was the Secretary of State. She sat on her ass and was promised the seat and was given it and now she's allowing these fucking things to go haywire and vetoing all these bills and shit. Get your ass out of there and put Kari Lake in there now. Print that on the Arizona Republic. Fucking assholes.
Maybe the black sheep of the family, but I'm the one you call when shit gets real. I may be the black sheep of the family, but I'm the one you call when shit gets real.
I was never happy. You made a big mistake. Your love was nasty food, so I scraped the plate. I went through hell and high water. Messing with you, being dumb's no joke. And I was a fool. Now I'm renewed. Chick, you lose. Begging for me back in yesterday's news. I put the hammer to the nail. When I broke our bond and the day I bailed out, you want me back? Have you cracked your shell? Chick, cause you nuts as hell. Remember all the space you said you needed? Remember all the times you said you leaving? Remember how I cried, begged and pleaded? How I hung my head and how I prayed to Jesus? Now that's done, and so are we. And now you see it. Now you so sorry. And you said you changed, but you sound retarded. I don't give a heck. I don't care regardless. Go freak your friends that was in our business. Freak those dudes that you were presenting. Call those digits that you were getting. I don't care. I'm not kidding. Yes, I mean and off the wall because being nice is a ripoff. I'm laced up. I'm caked up. I'm doing good. You messed up. My new chick got big butt. That chick tough. I stepped up. About time you have woke up. But now it's too late. The thought of you back with me can make me go up. My ex want me back, girl. You cannot have me. My ex want me back. No, you cannot have me. My ex want me back, girl. You cannot have me. When we were together, I was never happy. My ex want me back, girl. You cannot have me. My ex want me back. No, you cannot have me. Girl, you cannot have me.
And now be pronounced. I ask that you stand for sentence, please. It is the sentence of the court that your custody be committed to the Department of Corrections for confinement of the state prisons without possibility of parole for the remainder of your life. You may be seated.
Bitches.
Fuck them. Fuck them rumors. Fuck what they heard. Wake that fucking monster up. And when you do, don't let that motherfucker go back to sleep.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find